What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome to our NPL Division 2 playoff match against the Santa Cruz Psyducks, coached by the legendary Seabass himself. They finished off the season really strong with a 8-2 record, while we finish off the season at a 7-3 record. Whoever wins this battle will advance to play the Bristol Blues, and I was really nervous going into this battle. I was pretty scared of the team that he would bring in and what sort of matchup I'd get. As you know, we do horrible in playoffs. We're like 0-5 in the past 5 playoff matches, which is just bad. I just cringed my face at that record. It was just, we always seem to play really well in the regular season, and then in the playoffs we just crash out of it. So I was really nervous going into this battle, and yeah, but before we get into the team preview and the team matchups and sort of talk about what I was thinking about when I saw this, be sure to smash the like button, support your guys' Toronto SwaBlu Jays, and sub to the channel. We're so close to 200 people. You guys have been fantastic, and I really do appreciate you guys always showing up every week or every video and supporting myself and the Toronto SwaBlu Jays. So thank you so much, and let's try to get to 200. That would mean a lot to me. Anywho, let's talk about the team in front of us. So I'm bringing in Rose Raid, which is a SPDF set. It takes on Shaman. Shaman was a big problem last time we battled, and that's something that I sort of kept in mind. Even if it's a Shaman with Air Slash or Psychic, we can still take it on 1v1 and still come out on top. We do have Toxic Spikes, we do have Synthesis, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb, so it takes on a lot of things on his team, and we could potentially poison stuff too. If we get up to Toxic Spikes, that's awesome. Every time Shaman comes out, every time Shaman comes out, Rosary comes out. That's pretty much my game plan for that. If we can get up Toxic Spikes, that's good. Sneasel or Weavile, not Sneasel. Weavile is just a fantastic mod to bring in. I brought in just pretty much your standard set, knockoff Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Life Orb, with the low kick to take on Registeel, but there's no Registeel, so that sort of worked out for me. So pretty much its job is to take on Mew, Shaman, and the Xatu. And it can sort of take on the Sylveon and everything else on his team if we can get it going. But pretty much it's just there to be a big offensive threat. Gliscor is my only really way of taking on an offensive Arcanine. Just because offensive Arcanine is it just does so much to my team right now. As you can tell, if it has Crunch, Flare Blitz, Volts, Tackle, and Bulldoze, I believe it gets Bulldoze, it just puts on some fine work. So Gliscor was my only way of really preventing that from happening. And this time I'm not bringing in the normal Calm Mind substitute set. I decided to go against that this time because I've brought that in so many times this season. I just decided, you know what, let's bring in something that just hits hard right away. Dracometer is a pretty good move that hits a lot of things on his team. Side Shock is just good coverage, and it hits the Sylveon much harder than the Psychic. And I decided to bring Magic Coat because if he does want to do some shenanigans with Xatu, I can just either... not Xatu, that wouldn't work out. If you want to do some shenanigans with Registeel, then I can click Magic Coat, bounce those rocks away or the Thunder Wave away, and really put in a lot of work. Plus it allows me to scout for some things on his side. It wasn't the, as you can tell, the monster that he brought in, it wasn't the ideal thing to bring in, but it was something cool that I sort of thought of last minute. Then we finally have our new Pokemon over here, the one that we dropped P2 for. Just for the playoffs, we decided to bring in the Snorlax. Snorlax is just a standard Curselax set, which really puts in a lot of work against this team. If we can get at +1, we do so much damage to everything on his side that it's just, oh boy. It puts in a lot of work. It puts on a decent amount of work. And then finally we have the AV Magearna. So I've noticed his side was really offensive on the special side. So a lot of my team was prepped for that, keeping that in mind. As you can tell over here, the only thing that really could be potentially physically offensive is the Arcanine. That would apply a lot of pressure. So I was like, alright, this Arcanine's got to be physically offensive. Mew, sort of a toss-up in there. It could be physically offensive, it could be SPDF, it could be whatever. I just have to see what it is. But pretty much Magearna allows me to absorb a lot of hits. It's that extra safety net that I need just in case I lose a couple mons. Pretty much flash cannon, floor cannon, ice beam, and volt switch. It allows me to hit a lot of things on his side. I think I brought an aura sphere instead of volt switch, so scratch that. Pretty much allows me to hit a lot of things on his side, and it hits it really, really hard. So let's get this battle on its way. And I'm going to lead up with Latias because I figured, you know what? This thing hits hard on a lot of things on his mons. If he leads up with Sylveon, then I got to switch out into Magearna. Magearna pretty much does well Sylveon. So he leads up with Arcanine. I lead up with the Black Capitina. This is fantastic. I can drop a Draco right here, and I can get some really big damage off, as this move really pays off for me because I see that he's a Snarl set. So Snarl goes behind the substitute, and I was super happy to not see, or super happy to see Snarl in some way, because this allowed me to do a lot of damage to the Arcanine, which could have been a big threat. But thankfully for Draco Meter, it did 76%, and that is a lot of damage for me. So at this moment, I can fire from the other Draco. If he goes into Sylveon, so be it. That's what it is. I cannot take the risk, and he ends up switching out. So I'm just going to go into my hard check to Sylveon, and I can just fire off some flash cannons, as we see the Calm Mind variant of this. So I'm like, oh dang, this is frightening. But Hyper Voice still doesn't do a lot, so I don't know what sort of Sylveon this is, as we see the Protect. And I'm like, oh, this is just Protect Wish Hyper Voice or something like that. Still doesn't do a lot, but hey, what it is. But he reveals his last move, which is Baton Pass, and unfortunately he misses the Fire Blast. I do take one. I think it might be a roll depending on his investments and whatnot, but I do take one, and I can see what sort of investments he has on this Mew. So I do land that Flash Cannon, do a decent amount of damage, and I can just go right into Hot and Fluffy because I'm not taking that risk of Fire Blast missing twice, as I can sort of weaken this thing up. It's looking really bad at this moment because that Psychic does 42.9%. At this moment, I'm like, oh no, please don't lose to Mew. Oh boy. Thankfully, this return does a lot. And I decided, you know what, let's play aggressive here. Let's go into Weavile. Hopefully Weavile can really put in some work right now, because that's what I really needed to do, as he reveals Vacuum Wave, and I'm like, okay. Psychic, Vacuum Wave, Fire Blast, +2, Mew. This is not good. This is absolutely horrible. This is not going well at all. And I was just like, don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. Snorlax, don't get credit. So thankfully Snorlax eats that hit really well, and he might have gotten a low roll there too. So I make an aggressive double, just go right into La Capitina, and I decide, you know what, I gotta fire off a Draco. That is my only play at the moment right now. Land the Draco and get the KO. Not getting swept by Mew today. Not getting swept. As now I'm forced to go into Magearna once again as the Sylveon comes in. And yeah, he's this sort of Sylveon set. So at this moment I become a bit worried because I don't know what this Mon really wants to do. And I'm a bit frightened, not gonna lie, bit frightened, as he reveals the Yachi Berry, which is fantastic by me because I get rid of that thing. And I can just go right into Ruby, which will eat up this +1 Shaman's Earth Power, which is fantastic. That's what I wanted Shaman to do, and we get rid of the Sylveon. The Sylveon was putting on a lot of pressure, didn't have any attacks, but thanks to the Baton passing shenanigans and the Wish passing, it was annoying. As he ends up going to McFly, goes for the Thunder Wave, make a sort of prediction over there. I didn't really have a lot to lose. A lot of his team doesn't, like, Gliscor just loses to a lot of his team at this moment, so it allowed me to sort of use that as death fodder. And like I said before, when our game plan before the match, every time Shaman comes in, Roserade's going to come in, and we can simply absorb a lot of hits from this thing. I can see what sort of Jolteon this is, as that does a mean amount of damage, so I'm still not sure what it is, but Hidden Power Ice is not going to be doing enough to a point where, you know, I'm forced to do something. As he ends up going for the Brain Up over here, which is a move that I've never seen before. Only does 15% because I'm thick, fat, and especially defensive. And I simply can just go for a rest at this moment. At this point, Curselax can put in a lot of work. If I get a +1, then that's cool. But I'm not here to choke away the match. I'm not going to allow Shaman to do its shenanigans. And we can just stay in, fire off a sludge bomb. That does 71%. That's a big hit right there. That is a big hit. As I decide, you know what, let's seal the game up. Let's seal it up. These talking spikes will allow me to absorb whatever hit it wants to do, and I can just go for Synthesis. Pretty much at this point, it's looking like it's GG, and I'm getting a bit excited because, you know, I'm getting anxious over here as he's gonna land the burn up and simply take me out. Still wasn't sure what that was, and we can just simply go into Snorlax over here because he can't really touch us as we proceed to set up with the curse with the Sleep Talk. At this moment, I'm feeling pretty confident. We can just go for a turn and finish this game off. Doesn't take us out. And GG to the legendary Seabass. Really fantastic battle. And we break our 0-5 record, our losing streak. We break that finally. We break. I'm so happy about it. I know it's only the quarterfinal match, but such a big monkey off your back when you get that first W in the playoffs. And when it's been such a long time, this was a battle that meant quite a bit to me for multiple reasons, and I was happy breaking that 0-5 record. So we'll face off against the Bristol Bulus, who swept us with Masharna, and we also won one game against them. So we share one game, one apart, and I guess this is going to be the game decider, or the series, the breaking point, I guess, something like that. It's late. I'm tired. I'm super sleepy. So I'm nervous about that. Professor Chipboard, I believe, Professor Chipboard, and he's a fantastic battler. He finished off the season 2 with a 8-2 record too. So we've definitely got our work cut out ahead of us. Right now, we're just gonna enjoy this W, and we're gonna face off against the Bristol Bulus and try to make our bid for the finals of the NPL Division 2. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and once again, thank you so much again for your support. I really do appreciate it, and I'm gonna get going. So I'll see you guys in the semifinals or the conference finals. You can call it whatever you want. We're gonna be going against the Bristol Bulus, so wish us luck, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.